Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, your Travel God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a cold as balls, once again, video on your Saturday evening, January the 17th, 2026. Thank you all for watching, right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video. Hit the subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from the past, the present, and in the future, Conan. But don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm and Satan and Nazi will eat your soul. And you'll never be heard from again. So don't do it. If you want to be a schmuck, you're going to get treated as such. So, your fault. So you want to cry about it? Go cry about it. And I won't care. Don't forget to share the video all over the internet, like I said before. And follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if not, you need to get slapped. Pretty much. You need to get big slapped. Because you deserve it. Because if you miss anything, you need to get that. Because you're SOL, you know what that means. If you don't know what it means, well, too bad. And that's that. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. Grab a tasty cold one. Because, yeah, me and the missus got Burger King. Because we had a deal, so. Hey, 16 chicken fries and 2 sodas for $15. Perfect. You're gonna love it. So we had our early dinner. We're getting ready for the Niners game coming up at 8 o'clock, in about another hour and change from now, with TNA Genesis, which I'll get to in a little bit. And Triple E is going to be on at, I believe, 9 p.m. on Fox, but it's in Mexico, but we get to see it on YouTube. So we got a lot to talk about tonight, but I will not be talking about the Triple A show. I will be doing predictions for Genesis, and I will do the review tomorrow. And that's that. But I hope you had a great Saturday, a great start to the weekend. We're at the midpoint of the month, a little over it now. Now we're starting the second half of The Price is Right. I mean, the second half of the first month of the new year. And we'll get there. We got 2 more weeks to go until we hit February, the short month of February. We're going to do the short version. Do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. Good. You're married. Kiss her. Told you I love Spaceballs. I can't wait for the second one. All the one-liners in that movie will be epic. But we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, hope you had a great Saturday. And if not, well, maybe you have a better Sunday. And that's that. I had a up and down day today, you know. Getting nervous now because the Niners are coming on. Having a pretty sloppy game with Denver and the Bills, and means going back and forth. And Broncos were up by 10, and then they had the ball, and Bo Nix threw an interception. Bills get the ball back, going down the field, and next thing you know, they get intercepted. And then on the next play, they get the ball back again. So the defenses are playing very well, but the offenses are like, meh, not so good, Al. So at last check, it was 23-17. So still in the third quarter, getting close to the fourth quarter, so we'll see what happens, and the winner of this will face the Patriots or the Houston Texans. They play tomorrow. I think tomorrow night, actually. Tomorrow night, I think. That should be a pretty damn good game. And cold as balls, Foxborough, and really, really snowy. It snowed here today. We got about this much. About an inch. Coating to about an inch. I think we're getting more tomorrow, which could be up to 4 inches. I hope not. I mean, I put a little bit of snow melt. That was it for me. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. I do have plans. I hope I don't have to change them because of the fucking weather. And then next 2 weeks are going to be bone-chilling cold here in the Northeast. And we're getting some big storms coming away. Maybe a blizzard by the end of the month. I hope not. But, I got things to do. I got doctor appointments that I really don't want to change because of the weather. And my doctors might have to change because of the weather. So, we'll see what happens with that. Excuse me. Alright, it's 23-17. 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Bills got the ball back, somehow, at the 15. Let's see what happens as we go into the fourth quarter of this game. Of the AFC Divisional Round. That's round 2. And we're getting close. We're 3 weeks away from the Super Bowl. Super Bowl LX. For you people that don't understand Roman numerals, that's 60. In Santa Clara, California, at Levi Stadium, the home of the 49ers! Hopefully, they destroy the Seahawks tonight, but, Sam Darnold, is a little bit hurt with his oblique. Can't throw the ball much. So, Drew Lock might be starting tonight. We don't know that for sure yet. So, Niners kind of have a little bit of an advantage tonight. Ricky Pearsall might be starting. Hopefully, sad Fred Warner's not going to be playing, even though I had a great week of practice. But the Niners move on to the championship round. He will be playing next weekend, next Sunday, really. So we'll see. So it's going to be a big night. I might lose my voice altogether tonight. You would love that, won't you fuckers, right? Fuck you. But we move on. So, lots of stuff tonight. And that's that. Alright, enough about the spiel. Let's get into the video at hand. Anyway, so, after 7 minutes of spiel, it is time for your TNA Impact Wrestling on AMC Debut Review. Debut Review, that rhymes. Alright, so the TNA Impact Wrestling debut, on AMC, emanated from the Curtis Culwell Center. Hey, AEW Ring of Honor used to be there. In Garland, Texas, outside of Big D. No, not my Big D, but, Big D, Dallas, Texas. And our commentary team for the first episode on AMC, Tom Phillips and Aiden English, otherwise known as Matthew Waywalt. Now, I know this show was bad. It was a lot of production problems. There was a rep botch in the main event. It could have been way worse, but it was meh. Not a great start to the AMC era. I hope by next week, because they're live again next week, I hope by next week they'll fix the production problems, fix some other problems, and maybe we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if they're going to get a big... I haven't seen the ratings yet. I don't think they got a big rating. I would be shocked if they get, more than 300. Probably doing collision numbers right now, but... we'll see when the ratings come on. Actually, since I have a little bit of time... Go on the megaphone here. Not that megaphone, but you know what I mean. TNA Impact Wrestling ratings. Okay, so I got... That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so this is shocking, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking at this. You see it right here. I might get copyright, but whatever. The premiere episode on AMC aired on January 15th, 2026, broadcasting live from Garland, Texas. The TV rating, they got a 1.0 Ouch. 1.0 ain't great, but viewership, the episode average approximately, this is, I don't know if this is with the TNA Plus numbers, but it averaged approximately 1.485 million. What? Making it its best viewership in years, following the move to a more widely available network. And fan reception. Despite strong television numbers, the debut faced critical backlash on community databases like Cage Match, where it currently holds a low user rating of approximately 1.52 to 1.76 out of 10. So, lot of dirt sheets that do the reviews and everything, like 411 Wrestling gave this one a 3. Ouch. I mean, they were doing on Access, they were doing 80 to 115,000 viewers. On Pop, they were doing 300,000. Averaging 300,000. I like the Pop era, the Pop TV era. Access TV, not so much. Spike TV, remember the January 4, 2010 show, that peaked on average of 2.2 million, and that was the debut of Hulk Hogan Brother, and then pretty much down the drain that went. But yeah, so the debut episode, which wasn't great, still got almost a 1.5 million views. That is shocking. 1.5. And it can only go down from here. Or go up. We don't know. We're hoping it goes up. But, like I said, there's production problems that were bad. There's a couple things in matches, like the botch near the end of the World Title match with Mike Santana and Kaz. Kind of hurt the show, and it kind of felt just like discombobulated. Maybe there was nerves. There was a lot of wrestlers that had visa issues, so they had to rewrite the show. But hopefully next week, I don't think it's in Texas next week. I don't even remember where it is. I think it's New Mexico next week. Whatever it's going to be, I hope, the arena, there was like 300 extra seats. They didn't sell it out, which is strange, but, we'll see what happens next Thursday. But, hey, 1.465 or 1.485, it's not bad. Not that bad. It could have been worse, but it pretty much beat out AEW, which did 526,000 this week. Raw is on Netflix and was number 8 or number 10, I think. And then NXT got around, I think, 600,000. I gotta look. I'll look at it later. But NXT did a pretty decent rating. So now we gotta wait for SmackDown's rating to come out. But SmackDown, I think SmackDown might have beat out TNA. We'll have to see when the official ratings come out. But if SmackDown did lower than TNA, I think that's a win for TNA for this week. Now, we'll see what happens next week. And you can say, oh, it's the London thing, and blah, blah, blah. People are still going to watch on the USA Network anyway, even if they didn't get the spoilers. But it is what it is. Bills just scored. Wow. Dalton Kincaid. Excuse me. Dalton Kincaid with a touchdown. And Bills are a point after away from taking the lead back 24-23. And they were down by, I think it would, they were down, pretty much they were down by 13. They came back to get a field goal, and now they just took the lead. So Denver had a almost 2-score lead, and but lots of time in the game, about 13 minutes to go. 13-24 in the fourth quarter. So this is going to be Hey, come down. I bet you nothing. This game will come down to the wire. I don't know about the Niners game, but we'll see how it starts. I hope it starts off big, huge for the Niners, and we'll see what happens with that. And hopefully they don't suck like they started off against the Seahawks when they played them 2 weeks ago in Week 18, where the Niners just came out, first play of the game. Brock throws a pick six, basically, and then that was it. Downhill they went. So, we'll see what happens with that, but Brock Purdy is 4-0 at Lumen Stadium in Seattle, and Kyle is 4-0 in the division round. So, advantage, Niners. But anything can happen in the wacky world of the NFL. In the league where they play for pay. Understand. Alright, so let's get started with the review, and then we'll get right into my predictions video. Then we're going to watch the Niners. About an hour, a little over an hour away. Alright, so we start off the AMC era of TNA Impact Wrestling with an opening video looking at most of TNA's big stars. Talks about how they've worked to get here. So we got that. And then we go inside the arena. And we start off the show with a legend in TNA. A TNA X Division champion. TNA Tag Team champion. TNA Global champion. That's, I don't think, he did win that too. But TNA World Heavyweight champion. The man who makes us, who's pretty phenomenal. And it's ready. It's time to fly. Get ready to fly, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time for the phenomenal AJ Bad Hair Styles. Bam! And he comes out to his old TNA, not the old one, the one before he left to go to WWE with, or Japan with. The remixed I Am theme. From 2004, I forgot what year that was, 2012, 2014. It would have been nice if he came out to the New Japan theme, but we can't use that. That New Japan theme is fucking epic. I wish we would have brought that over to WWE when he joined, but no, he got his original, they don't want none theme. So we got that. And if he ever does, and that's not going to happen, but if he ever does go to AEW, I hope he brings over that New Japan theme. Because, as we all know, AEW and New Japan have a deal-ish. So, imagine AJ coming back just for a one-off in AEW against, like, maybe Okada. That would be epic. Or Kenny. That would be even epic-er. And he just comes out with the Bullet Club theme when he was the leader of Bullet Club. Probably the best version. That was an epic version. He came out with that theme. It was just, one of my favorite themes of AJ. Not to say that I Am, the original version was great. But I'm, I am old school, so old school is cool. But I like that version of AJ Styles' theme, the New Japan theme. And the New Japan Bullet Club theme. Great. But anyway, AJ comes out as a surprise, not that it was a surprise to anybody. So he says, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, because we have some wrestling to do. Yeah, thanks AJ. Thank you. A little less talk and a lot more action here on the AMC debut. But did that last? No. So, anyway. He wants the fans to keep the energy going because the fans here are TNA. Alright, short and sweet from AJ. Loved it. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And we're off and running on the debut episode of TNA Wrestling on AMC. Alright, after that, we get another opening video. This time a little bit shorter and minus the voiceover for the opening sequence. I don't know why we did that, but That's one of the reasons why bad production. You had the opening video, then AJ comes out, and then you go to another video, which was pretty much the same thing, minus a few things. That's a little bit too much there, dude. How we get that? Alright, moving on. Alright, first match out of the gate, we had a 6-man tag team match. We had Order 4 of Mustafa Ali and the Great Hands, Skylar and Hotch, taking on Elijah, who wants to walk with Elijah. Comes out, I don't know if he came out on his horse, but anyway, he comes out with his guitar, and he tees up with the TNA World Tag Team Champions. You know them, you love them, you can't get enough of them. The Hardy Boys, Broken Matt Hardy, yes! Wonderful! Delete! And his brother, Jeff Hardy, dude! No, those guys. It was a pretty decent match for 8 minutes, a little over 8 minutes. And, the Puerto Rican princess herself, not Issa, but Tasha Steelz, tries to interfere, so Jeff hits a double twist of fate. Ouch on them. Sucks to be you, huh? Anyway, Matt comes in for another twist of fate on John Skyler, and then Jeff goes up top. And hits the Swanton. 1, 2, 3, so the Hardys and Elijah get the win over Mustafa Ali and the Great Hands. And the match, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, the big man, Agent Zero, comes in, beats the fuck out of them. And then we have the Righteous. Vincent and Dutch. They run in to make the save. They pick him up. It looked like they were gonna shake hands because of their title match tonight. But as always, there's a but and it stinks. The Righteous jump the Hardys. They chain Jeff's earlobe to the corner. Aye! And then Vincent beats up Matt Hardy, hits a swanton on him. Damn. And we get that. So it's going to be a big-time match tonight. I could see the Righteous winning the titles tonight. I mean, so we'll have to see what happens with that. It's going to be a great match tonight. So we'll see. Moving on. Alright, then we go to the back with Gia Miller and her guest, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Frankie Kazarian. So ready for the main event against Mike Santana. But then, here he comes. The phenomenal AJ Styles cuts him off. And then Kaz tells AJ to thank him for the house. What house? And then AJ looks at the belt, thanks him, and then he leaves. I don't know what Kaz is talking about house. I don't know, AJ bought Kaz a house? I don't know. So we go with that. Alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Then we get a nice video on the X Division. Some stars from the past, like Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, AJ. They showed a little bit of that Unbreakable match from Unbreakable 2006. Probably one of the best TNA matches of all time. Then we see Leon Slater. I think we saw Chris Sabin in that. When he was X Division champ. I think P.D. Williams at one point. A lot of people. Alright, we get that. Alright, then we get a look at various people in the crowd. Some people from AMC shows. We saw Miss Jackson of Nasty, Mara Sade. Candice Michelle, what were you doing there? Besides twirling with your hot ass! She was looking good. And then there's a couple of YouTube creators, Minnie being one of them. I should have been there too. Or can't you get me anything for free, TNA? What's wrong with me? What about me? What about Raven? I mean, what about Peter? Come on now. Come on, Carlos. I love you. I mean, not like that, but, you know. I respect the business, but come on. Pay for my airfare, pay for my food, and I'm there. I'll spend a day or two in Dallas or whatever I gotta go, covering the event, meeting the superstars and the knockouts. I'll just hang with Rosemary all day. You won't find me. Me and Rosemary will be talking prophecy business, if you will. She knows it. I'll show her the tweet if I find it. I'll actually show her the video. I was like, see? It's like, see, these people don't believe. You said it. I'll actually tape it. I'll tape a secondary one to make sure, and I'll have Rosemary look at it. I'll show like a picture of Rosemary next to me, and then it's like here, and I'll go over here to my another phone. I was like, here it is. I'll take a screenshot of it, and it's like, here it is. It's like, what do you think, Rosemary? It's like, these people don't know shit, you know. I'm like, and I'll just come back to me. It's like, see, even Rosemary confirms it's real. So you can't say shit. Because people are like, it's not even Rosemary's profile. Oh, yes, it is. I prove that, too. So Rosemary, the co-founder of the prophecy, says it's real, so. And you won't know any of the members, ever. So, kiss my ass. You can kiss my Rosie red ass, Mahoney. Rosie. Anyway, we move on with that. Alright, so we gotta look at the exhibition. And then various people in the crowd. And then they're showing that. And they show a lot of empty seats. That was a bad move. Bad move. You don't wanna go on your debut show and showing that. Because that really kind of takes away from, watching the show. I'm like, now look at the freaking face, nobody's there. Turn it off. That was bad production. I don't think that's on Carlos. I think it's on whoever runs production. That guy should be fired immediately. And we move on. So we saw that. Like I said, Mara Sade, former WWE star Candice Michelle. And then Ryan Neiman comes in, and, he's trying to get with Mara Sade. Maybe he was trying to get with Candice Michelle. Because he thinks, I'm a Hollywood home too, What about me? So he's trying to go over the barricade. I don't know if he was trying to get to Mara Sade. I don't know what he was trying to do. But I think Mara Sade kind of, pulled him, and he fell right on his nutsack. Balls! And then some actor from, I forgot what show it was. It's on AMC. I think it's First Front or something like that. He chopped the living hell out of Ryan. Oh. I mean, Ryan can't get dates anymore. He tried to get protection for Rosemary. That didn't work. Because, Rosemary was trying to flirt with him, and then in the back, she pretty much ripped his balls off. Not in a good way, either. But, I digress. And he can't get with Mara Sade. They've been going at it. She's been super kicking his face for the last few weeks. And now he's getting chopped by some actor on AMC that we have no idea who it is. Poor Ryan. Can't get a date. He can't park Issa's car for the life of him. He hates Bad Bunny, allegedly. And he fears Marco's Pizza. What's wrong with you, man? Now, let me say like Dog Helmet. Hold on. What's with you, man? Well, you fell for that too! I can't believe you fell for that! Moron. So, that was a weird segment. I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. That's it. Alright, then we get the TNA director of Adarta. That's Santinawala. You son of a gun. He comes out, not really looking happy. Well, actually, he's a little bit happy these days. Comes out for the little kitty cat. Happy about what's going on. But he has been upset with what happened with his daughter, Ariana Grace, and his son-in-law. That's Stax Mahomes, the Intercontinental Champion. So Santino says there are a lot of responsibilities, so I'm going to be getting an assistant, and it's this person, Sonya Deville. What? Sonya Deville, now known as Daria Ray, that's her real name. Now known as the Suit. Even though you don't see an I in that little photo of it, it's SU, big picture of a lady, T. What that means, I have no idea. Sexy, undisputed, intelligent tatas. I don't know, but anyway. So she praises Santino, hypes up the move to AMC. Then she turns on Santino and says, TNA does not need you with all of your jokes that are bad anyway. And I know I could do this job way better than you because my name is Daria Ray and I am the Suit. She was wearing something very nice too. But anyway, we got that. So she goes to leave, but then comes back in and says, "Oh, by the way, my first act as the new Suit, I hired a new knockout, and here she is." I'm like, "Oh, if it's Mandy, I'm gonna be freaking going insane." Is it Mandy? Mandy Rose? No, it's Elena Black, otherwise known as Cora Jade, who was in TNA before, and she's back. So Cora Jade comes out, so a nice little reaction. So we'll see what happens with Elena Black, Cora Jade, whatever you want to call her, in the Knockouts division. I think she would do very well. So those knockouts are now on notice. And who knows what else Daria Ray has up her sleeve. Who knows? But that segment I gave 3.25 out of 5 stars. That's it. Alright, there we see Mike Santana getting ready for his match with Kaz. AJ Styles comes in, gives him a little bit of a pep talk, and tells him, bring back the belt. Bring the belt back home, basically. And Mike Santana thanks him, they hug, blah, blah, blah. And we move on with all that. So we'll see what happens with that. 45 minutes into the show, we had one stinking match. So, typical TNA, a lot of talk, not much action. I mean, and we're calling it total non-stop action, alright? Alright, so we move on with that. Alright, then we have the Elegance brand with the person who calls George the Iceman. They come out, M and Heather by Elegance, and returning to the ring, well, not to the ring to wrestle, but to be out there with the Elegance brand, it's Ash by Elegance. So they're in the ring, and George the Iceman introduces Perez Hilton, who hasn't been seen in 10 years. Shit. So he comes out, insults the crowd, and so gets his little 5 seconds of fame that nobody cares. You're an irrelevant bastard. And then the concierge introduces Mr. Elegance, who takes off his mask and it looks like Matt Riddle, but like smaller-ish. He claims to be the far heavier and different man we saw teasing being in the role last week. After a week on the Elegance brand. His name is AJZ. I forget what he said. Alexei or Alengre, whatever. I can't remember his full name. What's your name? Barf. Your full name. Bartholomew. That's how you're supposed to say your full name. But anyway, it's OVW wrestler AJZ, who barely got any reaction, and everybody's like, who are you? Who are you? What? What do you do here? I mean, who the fuck is this guy? I mean, who the fuck is that? I mean, seriously. Like, seriously, you know? But they stay around for the tag team title match, as M and Heather will go at it with the Knockouts tag team champions, the Inspiration, or the Iconics. Billy Kane, Peyton Royce, Not a good match. This match was sloppy. We see Del Ruca, so Ruca and Delta watching in the back. Possibility. Because, I have that Triple Threat NXT match coming up. With the winner of the Triple Threat match getting a TNA Knockouts Tag Team title shot in the future, whenever that match may be. Alright, so eventually Peyton Royce comes in and cleans house, but Georgie Iceman pulls a referee. Then some arguing on the floor. I'm like, get him out! And then Mr. Elegance distracts him even more. Gets knocked to the floor. That leaves the inspiration to load up the Idolizer. That gets broken up by Mr. Elegance's chop block. I think to Peyton Royce. Then a fruit roll up. 1, 2, 3. We have new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. I hated it, but there's a reason behind it. So the Elegance brand gets the tag team titles back, I think, for the second or third time. Not that I wanted it, but anyway. So we get that, and we move on. And now the Inspiration, whose contract expired, they're possibly going back to WWE, but I wouldn't be surprised that they go to AEW. But I mean, since Shawn Spears is in NXT, that's Peyton Royce's husband, I think they're going back to NXT or back to the main roster as the Iconics. So we'll see what happens with that. So, had a pretty good run in TNA, a couple time Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and now maybe they'll go back to NXT or not. Well, maybe they go back to the main roster and get those women's tag team titles back. We'll see. What's that? But match-wise, it was garbage. 2 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Moving on with that. Alright, then we get a video from Ariana Grace and her husband, the Intercontinental Champion. The man is better than Patrick Mahomes in many ways, in more ways than one. And that's Stacks Mahomes. They're not worried about, their dad, Santino Marella. Ariana was also behind the NXT invasion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm like, okay. We move on with that. Bills just scored a field goal, making it 27-23 with 4 minutes left. See, the Broncos can go down the field and score a touchdown. They're at the 27-yard line. See, Bo Nix passes and was it caught? Did he catch it? I think he was in bounds. It's a catch and a first down. And we get that. So Denver is driving to a possible game-winning touchdown. They are down by 4, so a field goal will not help. So they have to score. They have all the timeouts left. Under 4 to play. Short pass there. Make it a second down in about 8 or so. So we'll see what happens. Alright, moving on from that. So Ariana Grace and Stacks, they're not worried about their dad, but we'll talk about them later. Then we get a video for Indy Hartwell. Talks about her childhood dream. And then the Elegance brand, they all interrupt her with their celebration. Yay, we won the titles back, yay, we don't care about you, Indy, go away. So we get that. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. And the last segment with Ariana Grace and Stacks. And we move on. Alright, then we get a video for the Knockouts title over the years. Why didn't we get Rosemary? Did I miss that? I might have missed that. But we see Mickie James, Gail Kim. What else do we see there? I think we saw I think Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, The Beautiful People, of course. Awesome Kong was there in that package. I think we did see Rosemary. I might have missed it, but so we get that. That's pretty damn nice. And then the current champ, Xia Li. Speaking of that, Santino is in the ring, brings out Xia Li, who comes out with her bestie Xia Brookside, the Angel Warriors, for a little kitty chat. Apparently, Danny Luna, has been built up as a monster heel for the past few weeks, is not going to be at Genesis because due to a visa issue. Like I said, many of the stars that were supposed to be on the debut episode could not be there because of fucking visa issues. Because they're coming from, I think, England and other places, basically. They couldn't be able to get into the States. That sucks. So, Santino says that, Xia Li, you are going to get an open challenge. So then, Ruka and Delta come out. I'm like, I bet you they're going to give it to Ruka. It kind of makes sense. Ruka says, no, I'm not going to get it. I'm going to give it to my best friend, Delta. Delta's like, oh, what? What? Okay. She should get the title shot. So, Xia Li signs a contract, and then Delta signs a contract on Santino's back, and then stabs him right in the back. Aye! That had to hurt. So, yeah, tonight we're getting Xia Li versus Delta for the Knockouts title. Would there be a title change? Maybe. Will Soul return? I don't know. So, we'll see what happens tonight with that. I'm going to go with Xia Li to retain, but, I mean, we'll see. That's it. Let me move on. Alright, after that, we got a video on the history of the TNA World title. Like Moose, AJ Styles, Mike Santana, Trick Willie, Shamon, people like that. All shown in the video package. Pretty damn nice. Alright, then it's Santino once again. Comes up to Cedric Alexander in the back, saying that Leon Slater can't be at Genesis either to defend his X Division title. So therefore, Cedric will still get his X Division title shot down the line, but he's in a three-way match with Moose and a guy who appears when you say his name, meaning Joe Hendry. Oops, we said his name. So Cedric says his name, and then Joe Hendry appears on his phone. So he doesn't really appear, per se, just via phone, via FaceTime. Alright, so we got that. So it's going to be Moose, Joe Hendry, and Cedric Alexander, and just a random triple threat match. Okay. So, like I said, they had to rewrite this and rewrite Genesis. It was just, ugh. So we get that. So we get the rundown with the changes and all that. Moving on. Alright, after that, we get the System all coming out. Eddie Edwards and his hot wife, Alicia Edwards. Moose. I think we saw Brian Myers and the man who's going to be leaving the System tonight in his retirement match with Eddie Edwards, and that's Fandango, or JDC, Johnny Curtis. So Fandango isn't done yet. He'll be in the ring next week live to announce the newest member of the team. I wonder who that could be. Breezy? I don't know, but we'll see. I hope he's there tonight, Tyler Breeze, in the little whole Fashion Police kind of reunion, or, ending, whatever. But anyway, as for Genesis, Eddie, you better be ready to pull the trigger, or I will. So Moose and Brian Myers and, Alicia Edwards was trying to cool things down, but Moose and Brian Myers just stood there. So we're getting set for the retirement match tonight. Gonna be a little bit bittersweet, Fandango, Johnny Curtis had a pretty decent career. I was at one of his matches, and that was in WrestlePro against Homicide, and they beat the fuck out of each other. No blood, but, they beat the crap out of each other. And I have that on my Peter Joseph page, so check it out. I think it's on my Peter Joseph page. I might be right, I have to look at it. Anyway. Alright, so we got that. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we got a video for the feud between Frank Kazarian and Mike Santana. Our good buddy Nick Nemeth has his Call Your Shot trophy, and he said he was going to cash in on the show, but looks like he might be cashing in at Genesis. We'll have to see what happens with that. Alright, Then TNA President Carlos Silva brings in this lovely lady, Dixie Carter, honey. She comes back after 10 some odd years. They booed the fuck out of her. Woo! So she comes out to booze and she says, I can't believe after 20 some odd years, TNA's still here. I thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. You almost killed the company, not once, but twice. But anyway, and then Bully Ray comes out to do commentary on the main event between Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian. He just stares at Dixie, because we all remember, I think it was 2012-13, where he kind of overshot that power bomb through the table, and Dixie got a broken back, not in a good way, but that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for the Dixie Carter TNA years. So, they stare each other down, and Dixie's like, no, it's not the time, no, not again, don't do this shit now, no. So they stare each other down, and then they hug. Okay, bygones might be bygones, whatever. I still would have put it through the stage, but still, it's just me. Alright, got a minute to go in the Broncos game. And the Broncos are at the 25-yard line. So they got 25 yards to go. I don't know how many timeouts they got, but we're getting that. So, like I said, it's going to come down to the wire. And both teams have been known to come back in big ways. Alright, so Denver just took their first timeout. They got 2 left. The Bills got all 3 left. So, it's going to come down to defense, basically, for the Bills. A lot of people saying the Bills might beat the Patriots if the Patriots get to the AFC title game and then go on to face possibly the Niners or LA or whoever. I would like to see a Niners-Bills Super Bowl. I've been saying that for 2 years now. Knicks gets pressured. Touchdown! Broncos! And he got hurt at the same time. Marvin Mims Jr. with the catch, but he paid for it, as he's not getting up. So, with the point after, the Bills have some time left. They got about 50-some-odd seconds left. They could go down the field. This game could go into overtime. So, we'll see. See what happened to Mims, how he got hurt. He fell. Ooh! His back hit one of those stationary cameras. That's how I think he hurt his back. So, yeah, he was coming down and he rolled. He hit his leg, then his back on that stationary camera that shows in the end zone and everything. Well, this might be coming back. I don't know if he got his second foot down. Oh! I know what hit him in the back. That little prod thing that makes you control the camera. You can move it around and everything. Right in the... like stabbed him right in the back. Ow! That has to hurt. But hopefully he's okay. Let's see what happens. Alright, so 55 seconds left. Broncos back in front by 3. Not Denver. Buffalo has all its timeouts left. Denver has 2 left. So if it came down to a game-tying field goal, maybe the Broncos can ice the kicker. And we'll see what happens with that. We all remember Norwood. If you're a Giant fan, you know. Not that I care, but we got that. Alright, moving on with that. Alright, so Carlos brings out Dixie Carter, gets booed up the wazoo. Bully Ray comes out, and they have a little stare down with Dixie, and he hugs Dixie. Aww. Sportsmanship! Yay! There we get that. Alright, now we get to the main event of the evening. Mike Santana taking on Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World title. pretty much a rematch from Bound for Glory, where Kaz cashed in his version of, well, his half of the Call Your Shot trophy. Was him and Nick were co-winners. It's the stupidest thing ever. Alright, so we had 2 matches on the show in an hour and 40 minutes. This match is 3 matches in 2 hours. It's just insane. But pretty much back and forth they went. They didn't even hype next week's show, which is kind of dumb. But they go back and forth. There was a little bit of blood in this match. Santana hits the rolling buck 50, rolling Stoner for a near fall. Super Spanish Fly. Drops Kaz and a code red for near falls. Kaz comes back with Angel's Wings. A little shout out to Christopher Daniels, one of his arch rivals. A slingshot cutter that he always uses for another near fall of his own. Then he goes outside to grab the title. Santana misses spin the block, and the poor referee gets bumped. And then he hits a second spin the block, and then like a 14 count, but the referee was like taking a nap. And then Kaz with the belt shot sent Santana to the apron for Fades of Black. Ow! On the apron, back inside, getting very near fall. And then Santana pops right back up for spin the block for a kind of 2.999999999999999 Batman 5. Even though the referee botched it somehow. I think that was supposed to be the pin, but referee's like, no, 2! Even Bully Ray's like, that was 3! And I was like, yeah, that match is over. Why are we doing this again? Why are we still continuing? Why? So Santana gets up, hits a third spin the block, then he wins the title in under 16 minutes. I could have went without that crappy garbage botch finish, but still, good match. 3.25 out of 5 stars. And that's it. Santana celebrates after the match. Commentary pointing out there is a rematch clause already. Whoever lost the match gets an automatic rematch. So we're going to do this again tonight for the 3rd time. The 2nd time. So, Kaz versus Mike Santana 2, Electric Boogaloo. And what we did is see, as the show went off air, and what was shown on AMC Plus, Nick Nemeth comes out, tries to cash in his title shot, gets into a fight with Mike Santana, and then security and Santino Marella come out, and Santino's like, it's like Mike Santana versus Kaz in a rematch for the TNA World Title, but there's 2 caveats to this. 1, it's a Texas death match. Oh, this is gonna get bloody. And 2, Nick Nemeth will be the guest referee. So you know what that means? He can cash in right then and there, right during the match, or maybe after the match, because they're both gonna be spent. So we could see a new champion or 2 tonight. So we'll see what happens with that. I think Dolph might win. I hate it, but I'd rather have Mike hold the belt properly this time, not give it right back, not win it, and then lose it pretty much 48 hours later. Kind of makes no sense. His whole time being the champ has been technically a month and now 2 days. In two reigns. So that kind of makes no sense. So I would have Dolph cash in, but Mike Santana retains the title. Or maybe Dolph doesn't cash in and he waits a little bit, maybe for Sacrifice next month. That's in February, I think February the 13th, actually. Friday the 13th for a pay-per-view. Downfield and nothing. Alright, 32 seconds left. Bills are not even close to field goal range. They're pretty much at around the 40-yard line. So, we'll see what happens with that. Alright, I gotta finish this up. Alright, so that's TNA Impact Wrestling, and not the greatest of shows, but I gave it 6.25 out of 10 stars. I originally gave it 7, but Now, rewatching it earlier today, I was like, you know what? Let's just scale it down because of production issues. So I'm going to give it a 6.25 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of TNA Impact Hook and Ladder. First down and more. Now they're in field goal range with 2 timeouts left. I think they're probably going to use one now because the defender was on the guy. No. All right, so 1 timeout left. I think we're going to overtime, barring a last-minute touchdown. So this game could come down to a game-winning touchdown, or we're going to overtime. Good game, minus all the fumbles and interceptions and turnovers and shit. And it was tipped. Alright, 24 seconds left. Broncos have 2 timeouts left. The Bills have 1. So it's going to come down to the nitty-gritty, squeaky bum time, as I say in my profession. And that's it. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. Once again, 6.25 out of 10 stars. That's it for Impact. I'm going to go right into my predictions video on episode 101 of The Shadows Lair. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. Go Niners! Peace!